party want to amass all the necessary instruments to ensure success at the poll. So when you look at this decision of all these political parties, there are specific reasons why certain decisions are taken. Now, since election or politics is a game of number, it is the individual or party that has the highest vote that will emerge the president or governor. So you have to put into consideration certain factors. So all things being equal, by convention and the expectation of average Nigerians, power is supposed to be rotated, moved to the southern part. But the fact of the matter is that primary election was conducted and the decision was taken by the majority of the party members. And that decision should be accepted because it is not written. That is part of the lacuna in our constitution, the shortcomings of the constitution. If it has been stated there in the constitution, because there's no zones in this political zones that we don't have qualified individuals that can be president. So, but the fact of the matter is, it is not written either in the constitution of the party or the constitution of Nigeria.
So you can't blame PDP for not observing the rotational presidency.
No, that's not.
Even though APC has adopted that, Anyway,
but if you remember, even the case of APC, initially when that power play was on, the presidency and the chairman of the party, Adamu, pronounced somebody, and that is
Lawan
as the consensus candidate. But when there was pressure, there was a lot of political.
So are you saying in actual fact that even if the South, would be willing to get the power, they should have started from the part where they have not even got into the context of their election, such that, like, for example, the example you just gave with the APC scenario, where they have to do the contestation even before the primary took place in that horse.
If the party, for example, if any political party, say if PDP actually wanted to cede the presidency to the South, they should have make it very clear, in clear terms, and not to force, but to appeal to the Northerner that are member of that political party not to contest the primary election.
We're being joined from Abuja now by a PDP stalwart in Ogun State, Chief Shegun showed me this morning, and we want to also hear from him his perspectives on this issue. Chief Shegun, good morning.
Good morning,
all right, good to have you.
And good morning, my absolutely wonderful sister. How are you?
Very well, sir. Good to see you again.
Okay, now, Honorable Fatoki, you've listened to him, and the conclusion here is that what is going on between WIKE and ATIKU is fundamentally as a result of the money power of Governor WIKE. Is that it? Is that the point?
I didn't get that question again. Can you ask it properly, please?
Yes. He has actually mentioned the fact that WIKE is having this strong influence on the party because of the money that he controls, being governor of River State. Is that it for you?
Absolutely not correct. Now let me try and answer this question this way. A political party is, first of all, amalgamation of people created under law to contest and look for power. And therefore, personalities within the party begin to do certain things to create a bigger space for themselves. Take, for instance, the WIKE that you mentioned. By what magic is he able to keep so many governors behind him? Don't forget that there's no exclusivity of money in rivers. There's a lot of things in Akwa Ibom as well, and there's a lot in Delta. And so how come all the ones in Delta and the ones in Akwa Ibom are not enjoying the gravitas from WIKE? I think what happens is that one, WIKE has been more consistent in the party for some time, and he has been supporting a lot of states and a lot of personalities within the party. And that can only produce some kind of camaraderie. That's one. The second is that at some point in time, earlier on in the governors themselves at a location in Delta, which was an amalgam of both the Southern APC and PDP governors, and they came up with something that appeared to me like a very funny resolution, which was that power must go to the South, and then WIKE and Co. Of course, they all part of it, and they bought into it and they started pushing it. At that time, I queried them that, look, zoning is not a party arrangement. Each political party must make its zoning according to how it sees fit. For instance, shall it be right to say the PDP who was in the South in Obasanjo for 8 years, in the South with Jonathan for 5.5, 6 years, and was only in the North for maybe under 2 years, or if you like 2 years plus with Yaradua, shall it be right to say that the PDP as a political party has not been in the South? Of course, it's not correct. The PDP has been more in the South than in the North. Now, shall it be right to say that the APC that has been in the North and never had an opportunity of being in the South should stay in the North? That would be fair because they've always been in the North. And I try to say that, look, political parties do this zoning according to how they read things and the situation. Of course, a lot of our PDP brothers, especially those of them from the South, were going very heavy on it. Lo and behold, the party set up a lot of zoning committee. There was the Amadu committee, the chairman, the governor of, I think, Bauchi State, who came and said, look, keep it open. There was a Kemadu report after we did the 2015 election, who also said, keep the rotation for 8 years. There is also the understanding within the PDP that, look, we have been in the South for a longer period. We have not been able to cut the North because we not giving them good presidential candidate. Same for Yaradua. Therefore, there was a push in the North. So what was the middle ground? The middle ground was that, okay, maybe on this occasion for PDP, let's leave it open, everybody buy the forms, and let's see how far we go. We have gone as far as we can go. Candidates have been matched. We have even gone a step further. We've tried to balance the ticket by going to the South. Or ideally, maybe South-East, but maybe they couldn't find the numbers they were looking for. They've gone to a South-Southern man who has even ancestry, we find you for, and it's where it is. In the case of the APC, of course, Bola Tinubu is an extremely difficult person to beat in a contest because also the same reason he's been around for a long time, creating relationships, creating those values, and he's not dropping the ball. A lot of Southern brothers, Northern brothers, Eastern brothers, Igbo brothers, South brothers also contested that primary thing. The painful thing about the primary process is that once it is free, fair, and transparent, it doesn't matter what you would have romantically wished would happen, it is the actual outcome that must be respected.
Okay,
so I think that yes.
One of the contending issues is the present arrangement where you have the presidential candidate come from the North, and of course you also have the chairman of the party coming from the North. And Governor WIKE, based on different reports, is saying that ATIKU must go. And of course, I don't know how that is also going to solve the problem on ground with ATIKU-WIKE rift in your political party at this stage.
Okay, thank you. Well, think about it from this angle. As at the time we were going for the primaries, and we had a northern chairman in ATIKU, what happened if a southern man had won? The balance would not have been, so obvious, so discomforting. Now we have gone to the primaries. Of course, Atiku Abubakar, a northeastern man, has emerged, and that has created this challenge. What now remains to happen is how the leadership and those with the gravitas to take this decision will interpret the urgency of balance. Those who are asking that something should happen to bring the South in are not wrong. Those who are saying, hey, gentlemen, what happens if we bring a Southern president right now, a Southern chairman right now? There's a procedure to removing chairman and installing another one. What happens if we get to the primary, we get to the general election and we don't win? We have created another unnecessary brouhaha. Okay, why don't you guys just take it easy a little bit? Let's go through the election, and if the Northerner win, automatically it jumps. So basically, what am I trying to tell you? I have insisted that the way to solve political problems is not to assume that one side is right and one side is wrong. That the way to solve political problems because of the nature of interest, the nature of everybody wanting his own side, is to listen well and then figure out how you can, give a little, take a little, so that all parts can feel accommodated. But it's with party management, the procedures are tough. If IU were to want to go now, he has to probably on his own frolic resign. But if he's to resign, the question then be, who becomes the next chairman? Would you have a Southern chairman and a Southern secretary and a Southern publicity? Or would you be looking for another, horrid convention? Or would you be sidestepping everything and creating a caretaker? These are all details. But you see, the devil is in that detail. So both sides have some, brilliance in their position, but we must figure out a way to do equity, to do justice, and to do fairness. And we must make up our mind. Are we looking for 100% of zero, or are we willing to accommodate others so that we can then give ourselves the best push towards trying to win an election, which I consider to be quite a tough and an unusual type of election. Typically in Nigeria, during the election until 2023, you could almost say it's a straight fight between party A and party B. Right now, for the first time in our country, we even have a very big groundswell pushing and moving towards even what you can call a bit of a third force with a realistic chance. So I think that all said and done, the political parties must understand you can't insist that you are right all the time. You can't insist that your members who are also having some very strong points with a lot of people behind them. And like I said at another forum, I have begged the media to please stop making it the WIKE issue. Because when you make it a WIKE issue, it means you are not reading it well. Is WIKE issue a Badenjan issue? Is WIKE issue an autumn issue? Is WIKE issue a Shemakin issue? Is WIKE issue the issue of so many other governors who are also saying, no, Southerners will want it? Or is it an Enugu governor issue? So I'm saying that we are running a South-North, pushback among ourselves. But I always tell people, let us not assume that we have 3 zones in the South and 1 zone in the North. We have 3 zones in the South and we have 3 zones in the North. In the Southern zone, the Southwest has done it Obasanjo. The Southern has done it Jonathan. Now, maybe if APC goes on to win, the Southwest will do it again. In the Southwest, in the Southern zone, we have the lacuna of not figuring out the Southeast, possible to power. But in the North, they have 3 zones too: the Northwest, the Northeast, and the North Central. It's only the Northwest that has done it. All the other 2 zones are truly not have produced. They're not produced president yet, not in this dispensation.
Okay, Chief Shomi, we'll come back to you shortly. Please stay with us. Now, let's come back to Honorable Fatoki. Is WIKE asking for too much, in this situation? You actually said that it's WIKE's power, that money that is at play. Now he's asking IU to be removed. He wants 1 term. He wants 1 term for ATIKU to be formalized, as president, if he eventually wins presidency. And there are also insinuations that he's also thinking of running for presidency in 2027. Now, do you think it's asking for too much in this situation?
No one individual can be more powerful than the party. The party have guidelines. The party have constitution. All right? So there's nothing wrong in making request. But the request have to be put on table and have to be really consider whether it is the best interest of the party and by extension the best interest of the nation. right? Now, the issue of party chairman, in the days of UPN, NPN, when the president emerged from the north, automatically the party chairman will go to the south. Look at, if you remember very well, either the NPN, the UPN, even the GNPP, all right?
So do they wait for the election to be conducted before?
Then no. The election have to be conducted. But now we are, we are just going to the election. We are not even sure which of the candidates of the political parties that we may emerge, right? But eventually, when we have the president, then all things being equal, it is not stated in any constitution.
Okay.
But by convention, if you have the president from the south, definitely it is expected that the chairman of the party should go to the north.
So are you seeing more of trust deficit in that regard, especially when the presidential candidate is insistent on using this particular chairman? And of course, is it that, I earlier on alluded to one fact that the southern governors, they met and they said power must come to the south. Is that one of the things that is probably not giving so much assurance to the presidential candidate that if I should do this right now, my chances of winning this election might be slim or might get slimmer in a way? Or I don't know if that's what you're thinking right now.
Let's get this thing clear and get it straight. I'm talking as a party member. I'm also talking as a more or as a Nigerian.
Okay.
And it's a critical analysis of the situation. Now, I still want to insist, because that is the fact of the matter. The concentration, the focus on Governor WIKE, it is because he has influence not only in his state, but in other states of the federation. And that can be alluded to the financial resources, most that he has. He has assisted the political party, the PDP, at the national level, even some states, is a friend to many governors. So that influence is there. You can't rule that one out. Now, I don't mean, maybe, I don't want to mention any of the other aspirants that is, creating this drama. They might even, the party might even jettison, not even care to even talk to him at all. All right? So that is a point. But the request, if it is in line with the plan of the party, in the way the party hierarchy see it as being beneficiary, it can be considered, but it should not be a condition.
But is it not also going back to the issue of rotation? That WIKE is asking for, for ATIKU to just do one time in office, and power returns to South.
The fact of the matter is this. Who tells Governor WIKE that it's going to be the next president will be Alhaji ATIKU? That's one.
No, of course, the politicians are always...
Yes, if we assume, we pray. I don't want to say, I pray that it should be, but it's by party.
Yeah.
But the question is, now, we have to get certain things right. No individual should be allowed to be powerful to the extent of boxing the political party into a corner to take certain decisions.
How do you tame WIKE in this situation?
Let me get there. Governor WIKE is, to me, I see him as highly experienced, and he can easily analyze and study things. I am sure he cannot leave PDP. If he leaves PDP to work for which party? If he decides to go to APC, what will APC offer him?
At this point in time.
What will APC offer him? He stands a better chance to benefit in his party, PDP, than APC.
Okay, let's go back to Abuja now. Chief Shomi, now, Senior raised a very valid point. She guessed that this could just be about trust issues. Trust between WIKE and ATIKU. Trust between, that is if ATIKU becomes president, next president anyway. Do you also see it that way? Trust issues. Okay, we have lost audio of Chief Shomi. We can't.
So forgive me. Political parties must design themselves in such a way that they would be so stable that if they go to a contest and win, they remain stable. If they go to a contest and come short, they remain stable. One of the reasons why we are having this kind of conversation and this challenge now is because we have reduced the political parties in our country to a cult of human personalities. In which case, when I said it's not just money, where we came today, have you forgotten that Akpabio used to be in Akwa Ibom and he used to be just as powerful as WIKE? Have you forgotten that where the Delta man is today, James Ibori used to be there and everybody used to shout, Iboribo? One thing that we must accept as Nigerians is that we Nigerians, we love money. And therefore, any man that is generous will have more friends. And when you have money and you are generous with it in policy, people will want to say, this guy has helped me before, let me stand by him. So that's that. In terms of whether Atiku should do one time or not do one time, I laugh at politicians when they put their hope in things that are not justiciable. Anybody can promise anything, but when the chips are really down, how are you going to enforce it? With the powers that are around the Nigerian president, would you be able to call a Nigerian president that is already in office? He has ministers, governors, everybody listening and controlling and working with him, and even the power to do and not do with any party chairman, what have you? You will not tell him, you shouldn't go because you promised. The people don't listen to these things. Even the one that was not so well in his first term was still packaged for a second term. So I think it's better not to make unrealistic demands. I think that what the PDP is suffering from, in my opinion, is that they have not painstakingly reformed the party processes. I mean, for God's sake, how can you have a political party that does not even audit its account to the point that it can punish its members? The only time they talk about anti-corruption is when EFCC is calling people that were in government still. Do we not have issues with how party funds and party management is being done? How can you have a political party that gets this or has to be doing meetings and setting up committees every time to take care of simple things? If you agree that your zoning is for 8 years, so that the person that gets the position has right of first refusal, then it means it's 8 years. If you agree that your zoning is, you'll be discussing it every 4 years on the basis of rotation, then it is going to be on the basis of rotation. The problem with this thing is that when people feel that you are changing the goalpost in the middle of the play, it gets offending. Take the case of chairman should resign or not resign. I am not exactly decided on what is the best way, because I've been telling the opponents that show us the details. Let us see how it will look so that we can at least agree it on paper before we implement. But there's a side they have that is very strong. There is enough material in public space where, when we were trying to sidestep and enter into this arrangement, someone has said if the presidential candidate emerges from a part, they will come. He didn't say if the president emerges. So for other people on the other side...
Okay, Chief Shomi.
Before we leave you,
let me ask
quickly,
this very last one. Inside the studio,
Okay,
Mr. Fatoki said, nobody should be allowed to be bigger than the political party. So can PDP do without WIKE in this next election, going by the analysis this morning, and of course what is happening in reality in PDP?
The fear, what PDP must take into consideration, I said, stop making it about WIKE, is to ask itself, its last numbers in 2019, where did it come from? And I'm telling you because I know. The last numbers, we got about 11 point something million votes. Of that 11 point something million votes, 8 million plus or thereabout came from the southern bloc, which majorly represents the southeast, who gave us a lot of votes, the south, who gave us a lot of votes, and we did not too badly in the southwest. Now, can you now imagine if somebody is sitting and projecting himself as a champion of the southern, caucus? Do you want to risk it? Because in politics, one vote is too expensive to lose. And then you have to take into consideration the personality. Recall that in this country, no PDP governor took the battle to the APC as much as Governor WIKE did. We cannot remove that. He was, even if he's reading budget, he will find a way to talk about APC. Even if he's commissioning budget, he will attack them. He was there giving all of those energy. If we don't need it, I mean, if WIKE dies, God forbid, let God give him long life. Will the PDP die? Of course not. But he's still alive. And a political party going for election must understand that you can't be interested in a winner-takes-it-all process. Because when you do winner-takes-it-all, one, don't be deceived, you can leave. You don't know what the other side can offer. Two, you can stay in the process and just, not put enough energy and just not even do it, in fact, even do anti-party. Be reminded of 2014 going to 2015, when Jonathan had a similar problem political, and even PDP governors in the north just did anti-party on a scale unimagined. Okay, politics is politics.
Okay, show me.
So we should try and get everybody on board.
Show me. How does the thought of the VP candidate of PDP, Abeokuta, coming to this? He's also from the South.
Well, you see, this is how you know that in football, if you buy a player and it's a sensational player, yourself you will know. If you buy a player and it turns out to be, okay, not bad, you will know. There are those who are so good when it comes to governance. There are those who are extremely good when it comes to winning a party election. You are the one, the party is the one that will decide for itself. After all, you can imagine the battle even I am having with them in Ogun. There's something about PDP. They like to stumble on the same stone over and over again. And I have been praying, begging, wishing, cajoling, drawing people that gentlemen. It is madness to be falling on the same stone over and over again.
Okay. Chief, show me. We will leave you now, but we won't allow you go without you talk about your ambition, governorship ambition in Ogun State. You have a big stone. Is it a big stone that you have as hurdle before you? Tell us the development,
Well, let me say that I have always insisted that any man who goes into a contest that is an election, even for a social club, must have at the back of his mind that he may win, become successful, or he may come short. When you come short in a free, fair, transparent process, what are the issues? But the law is created and designed for if you cannot find, succor with dispute resolution to go to court. And you are well aware, the newspapers and the media is awash that, of course, I have given them a bloody nose at the Court of Appeal. And therefore, I will just say to you, my friends and all people of Ogun State, get ready for a new dawn, a sincerely set agenda that will bring a paradigm shift different. And even if Shagidori will fall short to Abeokuta, at least we will be sure that the contestation, the campaigns, the issues to be discussed will be the type of issues that will inspire all of us and inspire our children.
All right,
politics cannot be given to the hands of people who just maroon on the issue. That's what I'll say on that. So wish luck as I continue to battle on.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Chief Shagushomi, all the way from Abuja this morning for your contributions. And we hope...
thank you. It was a pleasure being around with you guys.
Okay, we hope PDP will go into next year's election as a united force. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Honorable Fatoki, your last words. Do you think PDP is on the way, to into next year's general election as a strong united force
Of course, yes.
With all these divisions.
Of course, yes.
There is division.
I will explain.
ATIKU, WIKE, Abeokuta, Showumi
in Ogun State. Let me start from Ogun State. Segun Showumi is my brother, but the fact of the matter is, as that today, the governorship candidate of PDP in Ogun State is Honorable Ladi Adebutu, QED. No controversy about that.
But the case is still in court.
The case that is in court,
yes,
that my brother Segun Showumi took to court, is the issue of the status quo issue, that they did certain things that is wrong, that is not right. That is the view. So it's not. He didn't contest. So that's the case.
It shows that the processes, that led to the emergence of Adebutu.
That is an assumption.
Could just be.
That is an assumption.
From him.
There is a political party to him.
Yeah.
The political party, he also campaigned. He went through. Went to some of, if not most of these, the status quo, the local government quo. He also went to them. And there are records to that.
Okay, so are you confident that this crisis will not consume the party?
No.
In Ogun State and at the national level.
When you are, it's not a crisis. I see it as a minor challenges, and that will be resolved. It's a sign of better things to come. When you have, you are sure of, okay, like we are winning election. There will be many contention, a lot of people will be interested, and that interest, if not well managed, is what turns into a crisis. So, but the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, the party problem will be solved using political party approach.
Machinery.
So anyway, political solution is what the party would deploy.
Yes. Anyway,
to
we
solve
want to thank
problem.
you so much. This morning, in the last 45 minutes, it's been PDP all the way from Abuja to Ogun State. And we've had in the studio Honorable Johnson Fatoki, a member of PDP in Ogun State, and of course, a political affairs analyst. We've also had Chief Segun Showumi, factional. Should I say factional? Or you would disagree with that?
There's no candidate.
You disagree with that?
There's no one candidate. And before we go, there's issue that is very serious about within WIKE and ATIKU. If you ask me, if I happen to be Alhaji Atiku, I will. It will be suicidal to pick Governor WIKE as a running mate, because we want government that WIKE is a very good person, but he's a very strong-hearted individual.
But that's done and dusted.
So he's more of a politician than a technocrat, sort of. Is that,
of course,
is that kind of the balance that the presidency
But that's done and dusted. Okowa is already.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that has been the issue.
Oh, okay.
That has been the issue from his camp.
Okay. Anyway, Honorable Fatoki, thank you so much for waking up very early this morning to be here. Thank you so much.
It's a service for the nation.
Okay, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll have the second discussion segment of the program, New Dawn, this morning. Stay with us.
In recent times, there has been an alarming increase in the number of cases of ritual killings in the country. This vile act of bloodshed to amass wealth has